Well, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the River Weaver walk. Now, a couple of weeks ago we did from the marina in Winsford, and we got sort of halfway, 10,000 steps. So now we're further down the river at this unique little place with this bridge, woodlands, river walk. So let's make a start. I'll just show you how you get to it, because it can be a bit difficult. So you come past the marina we did the other week, you come to the big roundabout, straight across onto New Road, and yes, it is called New Road. It's quite a long road, and you suddenly come on this where it says Weak Bridge, because there's a weak bridge, would you believe? But this turning here takes you to the river and the little car park, or you can park here. We do have two friends over here. I think there's only two today. Say hello to our friends, and they spotted us. So that's how you get to it, because if you're not careful you can easily miss it. But as soon as you hit that weak bridge, don't go over the weak bridge. And there is a sign here which is right under a bloody tree, so you can't easily read it. I'll try and sort of show you what it is. So it's the Weaver Parkway Trail. Welcome to New Bridge. So it shows you the Tower Bridge, Meadow Island, salt mine and vacuum plant, salt works and New Bridge. So if you can read that. So the first thing is to get across this bridge, which it is actually a working bridge, because you do get a lot of canal boats down here and paddlers and all sorts of water sport. They've actually improved this since last time I come. It's actually concrete now. It's normally like a rickety old bridge. You can see the winding mechanism. A little up there, I don't quite know what that's for, but you can go across to it. You can drive across and go to the car park over here, but I've never done it, because last time I came it was a really rickety wooden bridge and you didn't want to go across it. But this is vastly improved. It's a good place for fishing, a lot of fishing down here. A lot of cobwebs. So there is plenty of parking here, picnic seats. We're going to go down by the river where it says there towards Winsford. And then we'll come back and have a look at the woodlands after. There is a little lake here for WDAA members. It's quite a nice little walk. It's a bit wild and reckless, but you often get a lot of swans and wildlife in there because it is wild and reckless. Well, we'll go past the main gate. Now there's a fishing match on today. Seem to have one about every Saturday. So it's a good place to fish. Not the best path in the world, but There's some disabled people there in a wheelchair, so it is usable if you're in a wheelchair. Fishing spots, good wide river. A few ducks on the water at the moment. It's a bit chilly, it's quite early in the morning, 8:45, so the fishermen aren't here yet. Another fishing spot. The old trees do come a bit across the path here, but it is walkable. Got a lot of ducks. It's a good area for wildlife because you've got all these brambles and trees and God knows what. We do then come to a sign saying the Weaver Parkway walk. So it does start to open out a bit. It's part of the Merseyside forest. Like all these places, there's various sort of ways to come and go here. So if we carry straight on, we go along the river, but there is this, would you call it a field or nature place? Wide open space, even got its own little seat. So we'll go so far along the river and then we'll go up there. A bit further down, and the place is dominated by this really. Still the paths are very good. Because all along here is the salt works, and it's a fair old building. You can see the river, but you can't sort of get at it here because of the weeds. Let's see if we see any herons this morning, because the herons tend to hang about down here. It's a fair old place, is this? Well, it's all salt, but it's a fair old place, isn't it? You start to see the rock salt and this great big dome. We've got a windsock up there. Don't know why they need a windsock, but they've got one. You can see there is a bit of wind, and you see the masses and masses of rock salt. Got a few gulls about. Still good paths. We need to now get to see the river, quite how wide it is. So you could get down at a push, but the old sun's trying its best to come out. We're about to be invaded. can't make out yet. Usual Canada geese, one would suspect. Yeah, all Canada geese. We have got another sign here that explains what it's all about, the Salt Works Railway. History of Winsford waterfront. And we come to a junction. So we can carry on by the river or we can go up. So I think what we'll do is go up, because normally traipse across that field 6 inches high in God knows what and get to the forest that way. So I'll go up this path, all improved, again wheelchair friendly, but you need a bit of waft to get up here in a wheelchair. Might be fun coming down. If you don't stop, you'd end up in river. Well, we got to the top of the path, and it's a fair old climb, that is. We've got the usual seats, big chunk of stone. There is a path high up, you can see there's a clear path so you can walk high up. Well, the main thing up here really is the view. Try and give you a slow panoramic, get me teeth in, panoramic view. You can see, let's zoom in a little bit. You can see for miles. So it's worth coming up here for the view, even if you do get blown away with the wind. Still want to know what that big dome is. There's a big white house somewhere over there. Good view of the salt. Way off in the distance is a church. Now there is another footpath walk. The white something anyway way, which goes across all the way through that woodland, right the way to that little white house over there. I don't know whether to do that one. It's a massive walk, or obviously you can turn around and come back, but you can get from here all the way to Cuddington and even on to Delamere Forest, so that's one hell of a bloody walk. I don't think many people would want to do that, but bike ride probably. As I say, it's such a wonderful view up here. And the path does carry on up there, so having got up here, ain't going down and back up again, we'll keep it on this high path. Again, not a bad path, but no good if you're in a wheelchair. You could at a push if you were adventurous, but it is flat and level. But so we're sort of into the woodlands. That's a problem trying to tell anybody about these walks. There's a path here and there's a path there and there's a path over there, and you can't cover everything. Lots of berries. Do you want any berries? We keep going, we come through some trees into another sort of open space. Plenty of trees if you want to bring dog and go exploring in the trees. Again, if it's a hot day, probably a nice walk in and out of the trees, a bit cooler. Another big open space. Throw the ball for the dog. Quite a few dog walkers in front of us. And all along these trails, because it's all, most of it's sort of Cheshire East or Cheshire West. Nice seat here, nicely mowed. So you can sit on here and admire the view. Whitegate was what it was, a Whitegate walk over there. Knew it was white somewhere. Oh, we've got lots of doggies. Come to say hello. Well, lots of dog walkers, and I've been not attacked, licked to death by lots of dogs. Another big chunk of stone here as a seat. I mean, it'd be nice for a picnic, some of them. You wanted somewhere a bit back to nature. Nice with weeds, flowers, whichever you want to call them. Come across some nice memorial seats. 247 Winsford servicemen lost their lives 1914-1918 war. We're now heading into the woodland forest, whatever you want to call it. The path gets a bit worse. The problem with woodland, you can't put a good path in because there's a lot of tree roots under it. If you put a path in, the tree roots soon uproot it anyway. But again, nice back to nature walk. There is a gate here, but I'm not exactly sure where we are now. Well, that does lead us to a gate and a bridge. One thing about hate about these woodlands walk, there's never any signs. There's more paths deeper in the wood that way, but they never have any signs, or they have one sign, something this way, and then there's about 200 different ways you could go. So this should bring us out somewhere just past Morrison's, I think. There's another gate here with a path. Just go down a little bit further, see what I'm trying to get my bearings. Here at the main entrance here, aren't we? So we walked down the path and we got to the main road, and then there's another gateway here. And if my compass brain's working right, this should take us back to the river. So it's just a shame that they don't sort of signpost it so you know exactly where you are. Well, hopefully I'm going to end up back at the river. Well, there's plenty of walks here because there was a gate further up which would take you into the woodland. I mean, most of this woodland, I mean, you could get in it, the dogs could get in it, but Robin Hood could probably get in it, but it's not sort of a walkable path inside the woods there. Well, going down that long path, we've come to a point where there's another path, and the path carries on. So I'm hoping we're getting near to river now. Again, nice and shaded woodland walk. there's just so many places to explore, so if you come on a sort of regular basis you'd probably leave a few breadcrumbs, find your way out again. It's all good fun. So the end of the path, I do now know where we are lost. No, if you remember from the other Winsford walk, we said about this car park. Well, this is where the car park comes, and this is the lake next to it where we finished the last walk. So we've come a long way around to get to it, but we can now sort of carry on the walk, so you can see if you did the first video and then carried on how you go on. It made sense to somebody. But we're now back at the river with the lake on our right, like we were before. Now whether I can get these, I'm always saying about these herons. One there, there's another one there, 2 herons. That's a super zoom in. That's 100 times zoom, that's why I'm shaking so much. One there. One there. So now we're on, get your teeth in, Jen, end of the lake and back onto the river. So this is where the previous video of the Winsford walk, this now takes us back to where we've just come in. I say just. Bit of a windy path. More paths there, not very good, but you can see a distinct path going into the woods. I've just seen 2 cormorants, but as I put the camera on, they both decided they were going to do a runner. So that's 2 cormorants, 2 herons within a few feet of each other. So if you're a fisherman, this is the place to fish. Be guided by nature. So it's a wibbly wobbly little path, this. That's right, right wibbly wobbly path, round and round. You can see the windsock over there probably, so we're not far from where we actually started. That's been a nice little adventure. It does give you an idea of what's available, and you know, you could just do a straight along the river, turn around and go back if you wanted, or you could go off in the woods, you could get lost in the woods. That's worth noting, and I have, because I do work for Google with about 120 million views of my pictures now. If you do get lost, we've got another seat here. We've got a load of runners coming now. If you turn on your location services on Google Maps, even though you're not on the road, it will normally find you correct way out. So we're coming round the corner, just been a load of runners running, which is what runners do. Plenty of ducks about, and we're nearly back at the point where we decided to go up rather foolishly. Yeah, the old river's very wide here as well. It sort of dips in a bit there. So you could, if you wanted to, the original walk, change the video and carry on up here and do the rest of the walk to the bridge. Or if you're really adventurous, you could carry on to Northwich. I mean, I'm assuming people are walking, but I mean, if you're on a bike ride, then it's to do the two together would be a reasonable bike ride, wouldn't it? I mean, I think most people, 10,000 steps, are probably happy at doing that. That's why I split it into two pieces, so you've got, this will probably be about 10,000 steps by the time we finish. So it does put it into manageable chunks, or you can be brave and do both. So we're back now where we went up the road where this little seat was. We just had a sit down, and that's where we went into the woods. And we've got to remember there's the woodland up there, so you could have come or go along there into the woodland as well, so there's plenty more walks. So we'll head back towards the bridge, then have a small look at some of the woodland walks down there. And we're back at the bridge where we came in, and there's a little public footpath up here. This actually takes you as far as Northwich if you wanted to go that far. Oh, it's a strange little footpath, very broad sides. There's usually a little stream running down the bottom. Nice and shady because it's starting to get warm a bit. Just got to the top of the hill, I'm not going any further. It's always a bit of a strange place. We've got a bridge. And then you go under another bridge. Always a bit of a strange one. There's a riverside park up there, and the water continuously flows here. I don't know where this comes from, but nice little waterfall. Nice little waterfall sound. A pretty big pipe. Well, this is the main car park. Now there is paths off into the woods here, so have a look at the woods here. Distinct path. Which actually gets us absolutely nowhere. There's a tree blocking it there, and there's sort of maybe perhaps a path up there. So we'll go back to the river and get on the proper path. What is amusing, all the fishermen. I mean, they bring everything by the kitchen sink, and I'm sure some of them bring the bloody kitchen sink as well. Picnic seat there. The amount of fishermen is unbelievable. Well, there must be some good fishing. Again, it's warming up, and a nice woodland walk here in the shade is quite a bit cooler than it is out in the sun. We're actually walking by the river, which cools it off anyway. So So this is actually on the way to Northwich. We said last time you could, if you were daft enough, go from Winsford to Northwich along here. Well, again, if you're on a bike, it's probably doable, isn't it? And this is where it gets a bit silly, because if we'd have come through the woods and continued through the woods, we wouldn't see this stupid sign. Public access, no right of way. No public access. But obviously it is a right of way because everybody uses it. But there's a holiday park at the top there run by Mr. Grumpy. And he comes and complains if he finds you walking on this path. It is open to debate whether it is this or whether he's just trying to pull a fast one. There's a right grumpy old sod. But there is a nice little pond there. Pond, lake, whatever you want to call it. You can fish this, but it's no day ticket. Lovely little lake, lots of nice water lilies. You can actually walk around it. And there is paths off into the wood. So I say having this sign there is stupid, because if you come through the wood you'd never see it anyway. But lovely little lake, fishing. You see the caravan park up there, or some of the caravans. It's quite a nice park, but I say it's Mr. Grumpy. There's no need for it really, is there? It's a woodland, for God's sake. And say it's open to debate whether it is part of the woodland walk. And if you come through the woodland, you're not going to see a sign, so you can safely ignore it. We're now just out of the woodland bit, and this is the road that takes you to Northwich, with fishermen everywhere you bloody go. There is this very posh place over here. A couple of quid for some of these, don't know what you call them really, not houses, are they? Well, they're posh anyway. I'm just talking to one of the fishermen. It's a bit confusing, this is. Down this part is Northwich anglers. The other side of the bridge, so many pegs, are meadowbank fishing. And a bit further down it's Winsford. So it gets a bit confusing if you want to fish which bit's which. You can get day tickets down Meadowbank, I believe, so if you wanted to go fishing, that's the place to go. Well, that's the end of this walk, and we've got some nice clouds there actually. I don't know if I can see it on video. A lovely sort of fluffy cloud. Fishing everywhere. And the bloody whale just jumped out the bloody road to there. So again, it's roughly 10,000 steps again. Try to keep it round about that, because that's sort of reasonable walk for most people. Like I say, you could do the one from the marina, come all the way to here, and perhaps somebody drive here and pick you up here and meet halfway or something like that. Or if you're on a bike, just carry on to Northwich. So we'll catch you on the next one. I'm glad to see they've made this bridge better, because it was all sort of wood and You didn't want to go across this bridge, but now it's quite firm. Not seen any boats today. It's not perhaps a good time to come early in the morning because the birds don't tend to get up too early, and if you come early you don't get any fishermen, so a bit of this and a bit of that. Well, it has been a nice day. Warming up a bit now, so we'll catch you on the next one.